I should mention, since this is a Grand Rapids angle, about the very end of his consultations before he pardoned Nixon. He was seeking not just justice but mercy, and he canvassed various clergy, and he said, "Tell me, teach me, what's the difference between justice, what a person is due, and mercy, what I can give a person because of their dignity as a human being, even though they've made many colossal mistakes." And President Ford opted for mercy. Again, indicative of his intelligence and his courage and his character. Fourth quality, I'm going to go through the last two very quickly. His social skills. You know, in a democracy, you have to be able to forge a consensus, and President Ford was able to do this. Obviously, all the experience he had on Capitol Hill, he was universally liked. He did not have enemies. He said that, I will always work with you if you have goodwill. He also, because of his social skills, was able to attract first-rate talent. All kinds of good people came to him. Now, some of these names are notorious now. You know who I'm talking about: Rumsfeld, Cheney. But these were rising stars. You have to think like a good historian. You Secretaries of State are good historians. Go back and look at the perspective of the 70s. From the 70s, people like Alan Greenspan, Donald Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney, these were reliable advisors, rising stars. He kept Henry Kissinger. He got the best advice he could. He was able to attract first-rate talent. And as I had already mentioned at the very beginning of my remarks, this ability to connect with every man just, I think, helped his presidency so much. When he went out on the road, people just respond to him because he's so unpretentious, just a lovely guy. Finally, adaptive intelligence. I hardly need to tell this group much about adaptive intelligence. You constantly find yourselves as Secretaries of State having to adapt. What's the picture in your mind, your image? You have to be able to change course, adjust your vision for your state, Ford for his nation. He had that ability in spades, and you can see how this whole process starts over. If you have the imagination, the passion, the character, the social skills, then that adaptive intelligence comes back and go all the way back to the beginning, and you adapt in the way you have to. Let me sum up by saying this. Henry Kissinger made the case for President Ford when he said, quote, "President Ford saved the country. In fact, he saved it in such a matter-of-fact way that he isn't given enough credit for it." I think that says a whole lot. It shows that when President Ford was able to go about being the most important person in the world for 895 days, he didn't lord it over anybody. He just did the job with good Midwestern values and hard work, the things that we cherish him for here in Grand Rapids. And I hope you've been able to get a little taste of that in your visit here. Thank you very much.